Morning, everyone. It's Monday, October 29th, 28th, 2019. It's not a very cold morning, but it's a dark one. The sun is just barely rising. We didn't move the time for back yesterday. It's next weekend, but it feels like it. Feels like I could have slept a whole lot more. But today is one of the busiest. Today is going to be very busy. I have to go to a new government office and fix some problem over there with the chairs. And everybody's been getting on the back of my boss. And he's been putting me on joint mail to share the pain. When it's going to be done, You're going to finish soon, you're going to start soon, you're going to do what. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do a first stage, and another day we'll do another stage. C-bar, fix his brake. Another low light morning. I could have rested a whole lot more this weekend. A whole week of vacation would have been nice. Winning the lotto and just taking time off, free of care. You know, if I was ever to start my week and I would win the lottery, it would be one hell of a cascade. First you go and cash it, then it's going to the bank. The bank will give it like 2-3 days before it's ready to be cashed, but it will give you a certain amount before, because they know that the lottery is always reliable. It's not they don't have a problem with this. The moment they call the lottery and say like this person's changing a check under your name, they would like pass it right away. And then it would be like debt paying time. I would clear out all of my debt. If it was just like a regular minimal amount, like not $1 million, just a small amount of what's available on the ticket I take every day. I don't know if it's like this in the United States, if you have daily draw, but here we have like 6 or 7 lotto that it's every day. And these lotto, usually the maximum they pay out is $1 million, but the odds of winning $1 million out of this is one in a few million. The one that I'm playing every day, it's called All or Nothing, like I said before. And if you get every numbers, or if you get no numbers, it's 250 grand. And 250 grand really, get you out of a situation. It can get you out of debt, pay all your things, and you can live comfortably for a while if you're still living where you are. But if you want to buy a house, 250 grand doesn't buy you much of a house here. Here the houses are fucking expensive. I don't think there's, like, the only house that are available for such a low price here are the mobile homes. And I'd rather choose a container house compared to this. My sister bought a mobile home and she's screwed. The floor is all rotten. And she paid an inspector to inspect the house before. And it didn't yield any result. So she's stuck with having the floor need to be fixed, and it's going to take time before it does. And I told her what to do in the meantime to not make things worse. I told her, like, buy some Flexi Seal, whatever, that rubberized painting and just paint the floor under the house, literally paint it all over the place, so it's not gonna rot even more. It's gonna dry off. And she's not listening. No, nobody ever listens to my ideas because like I don't know jack shit, you know. I'm not an expert when it comes to painting. You know, I didn't practice for years and years experimenting with paint to say things out of the blues. So let her deal with her problems. I give you a solution. You're either dumb enough not to take it, or you're smart enough to take it and try it and see that the result's going to pay for itself. One of my friends that was building a new house, I told him to use that paint everywhere wood would be exposed and had a chance to rot. And he was telling me like, oh, the wood is treated. Yeah, but the wood does rot after years. And if it's in contact with the ground, it will be even worse. So his shed and his house where the wood was exposed to the ground, it rotted after 2 years. And it was freshly rebuilt. Like they renovated the house just not long ago. So don't take my idea. To come back on the topic of time travel and paranormal is, I wrote on the forum, on my thread, that it'd be nice if people would write information, those who wants to collaborate, and says their status. So like, oh, I'm unemployed, I got all the time in the world, I can do research on the internet, but just like you, I don't have money to buy anything, so I can contribute my time, my free time that I have. So, and others says like, well, I have a garage, I have all the tools I need to do experiment and test, so I could help you with this and that. So that'd be nice if people would write that status, so we can like finally do a collaboration that would end up in yielding result. I have a member that's already been doing tests on his home, and he's been doing research on that specific topic, which is pretty good because it's probably a topic I'm going to need to learn, but somebody's already proficient at this and already doing experiment. So that's time I already saved. So how can we combine all of our common knowledge and our skills to end up making the machine? Because it's not, it cannot be just the task of one person to do this. I don't think anyone has the money and time to do all of this. Like the construction trucks are in a row to block traffic slowly, to give a chance to someone to get out from the construction site. And then you got these idiots who are stressed out, they want to go faster, but like they didn't grasp the concept for a second. That means like these lights means halt, wait till they're done passing and then you can go. That's how dumb some people are. They're going about like 10 miles per hour, waiting for the truck to get out of the construction site, and once he's out, they just split out. That's their job. 2 or 3 times a day, they're gonna get on the highway, block the traffic, give the chance the construction truck to get out of the construction site, which is in the middle of the highway. Yeah, here we go, like they're pushing like their car to the maximum because they're fucking stressed. People are so dumb. Just leave for work earlier. You won't get a ticket and you won't be so stressed. It's sad to see this stupid state of people today. Or when you're coming on the highway and you're not paying attention to who's coming towards you. Fucker. Big fucking fucker. Can you just put your flasher when you're moving on? I work on the road every day, and it always amazes me the amount of stupid people that thinks they own the road. Unfortunately, you don't own the road. The road is someone else's working area. And sometimes it's literally a working area because it's a construction site. And yet, there isn't that many police on the road to give these dumbass tickets, to teach them a lesson. Sometimes I say the highway patrol and the traffic patrols on the highway, they're a nuisance because they're giving ticket to people that don't have the money to pay for it. They're poor. They barely can fix their car. But because of that moment of inattention, to get a FT ticket. While others who are rich, arrogant bastard, they're blatantly broke the law every time on the road, and the police just don't give them a ticket. Some people will say like that sounds like communism, but it's not communism. It's being fair. But hey, if you're on the road, you have to be attentive to what you do. You have to be careful. I know some people say like, oh well, I work 3 jobs, I'm tired. I'm a risk when I'm on the road because I'm dead tired, and sometimes I miss paying attention to what's going on the road, and I would cause an accident. But I need to work all these 3 jobs to make it my life a living. I understand that because I was at that stage one time in my life. I was literally working 3 jobs. I was working my day job, I was working part-time, and I had my own company that I was making money on the side as well. All this because they didn't teach economic back in the days when it's cool. I think that this is the biggest thing I would change if I would time travel. I would go back, way back, and then I would force the school system to teach economic to kids. Learn how to manage your money. Learn how to control your spending. Do things that spend money on things that are necessary or not. And you teach that, and you don't graduate until you succeed at this. Some people say like, well, that's what we call home economic. But it's like, it's home economic. It's not real economic. I ask kids today, very often, I say, how do you get by? Like you're working here, you're doing this. How do you get by? Are you a student? And like, no, I'm on my own and this and that. And it's like, how much debt do you have? Like, how much in debt are you? And trust me, it's not as bright outside as it is. It's darker. It's the camera just bring things up. And they say like, well, I bought this, I bought that, and I got credit, and I got this. And so like, this is like the trap that I've been entangled in the same all my life. Is the story of my life is like, I'm good at many things, but I'm not good with money. And this is why I don't like being paid every 2 weeks, because 1 week you have a whole lot of money and the other one you're poor as fuck. You want to do things, you want to go out, and you don't have a dime left. This is why I hate a job that pays every 2 weeks. But this job, I don't hate the job. I like my job. It's just I hate the situation that it's put me in, and it's not enough money all times. And some people would say right now, it's like, oh, well, that would be the problem solving with UBI, the Universal Basic Income. It's like you wouldn't run out of money because even if you work, you would still have money every month. The government would give you money every month. But what people don't understand, it's like the government is not giving me money. The government is giving me the other people's money. And then I work to pay for that kind of money for other people that don't want to work. They want to be lazy ass. For me, if I was getting the UBI, I would not need it for a permanent time. I would just need it for a short time to get back, to get out of debt. And then when I'm out of debt, I would try to break the circle and stop credit and finance and do things on my own. But it's not something that I would live on. And Japan, that's what they do. And people, they have honor in Japan. So when they feel like they abuse the system long enough, they go homeless. They don't want to depend on other people. And a lot of the homeless in Japan, they're responsible for 80% of the recycling that goes inside the city. They pick up cans, they pick up everything that's recycling. They work their fingers off at recycling electronics and stuff like this. This is something that a lot of people here don't do. A lot of people here, they'll just be homeless and don't do anything. They're gonna be miserable and they're gonna take drugs and drinks. While other homeless people, they will try to find a way out. They will try to find psychological help and get way to make money. And sometimes I look people at homeless on the street and they dress better than me. And then I say like, they're begging for money and say like for now you're dressed better than me, but like in 2-3 months time, you'll be all raggedy because you won't be able to wash your clothes and stuff. So a lot of people, they want time travel for selfish reason, which I would understand clearly. Or others, they would want time travel because they want to erase a moment of their past, but they don't know what consequence it's going to create. Erasing that moment of their past might cause them to be an entire different person at one time, and they're going to do something and kill themselves. It's not going to solve the issue, it's just going to make things worse. That's why you don't change the past on a certain level. So some people would say like, to what level can we change the past? But we don't know until we get there. And if you look at every movie about time travel, things always end up fucked up. It never end up good for the main characters. For me, I think the main concern that people wants to travel far in the future would be you're bringing something over there that would cause a lot of death, like a bacteria or disease, and you could get affected by the same thing over there as well. They have a new bacteria or disease over there that would affect you in a radical way, and you would die in an instant. You wouldn't survive that. That is one factor that you're traveling to other places, to other dimension. This is why movies are movies and science fictions and cartoons are cartoons. You have to take an account of all the situation, all the things that could happen, and the mishap that could happen really bad. If you have a machine that you carry with you to time travel, odds are somebody's going to witness that you're coming into that timeline, and they will want the machine out of your hand. They will want to become rich by using time travel in any other fashion. Doug Brown created a time travel machine because of a dream, because of an inspiration he had, and he wanted to know the answer. He wanted to learn. That is practically the same things that I want if I was to build my time machine. Is I want to learn. I want to expand my knowledge beyond the horizon of this timeline. This timeline, this world here, there is nothing more you can learn. There's the secrets behind. When you know the secrets behind everything, this world becomes like an absolute hell. You listen to the news and you know every lies behind the news. You know every little corner, every little crooked scheme behind every part of the news channel you're watching. Like, what's the news about? What's this? What's that? What was the reason behind this? And people, they don't research anything on the internet about what's going on. They don't know that. They don't know what Jade Helms is. They don't know what Agenda 21 is. They have no idea of all these things. My mom just started to learn about chemtrails about 3 months ago, and she decided to quit on that because it was too dark of a story for her to grasp. And on Facebook, I always write every 5 moments that I post something. I write about Agenda 21, and that Agenda 21 is halfway through. It's halfway through to its entire execution. Can you imagine that the people in power already applied half of what they wanted to do with Agenda 21. I don't think people can grasp the concept of how dire that is. They don't see things the way they are. They always see it under the guise of progressivism, whatever, progress. But it's not progress. It's attardation. It's being retard. It's being the worst of worst you can be about humanity. If you take just the transgender agenda and allowing people to express their mental disease and pass it as a law that if you don't address that person properly you could be sued, that is like a new level of stupidity. You just cannot imagine how stupid that is, that you can ruin someone's life because he didn't call that person by a right name. And now in the United States and Texas, somebody is getting in jail because he hurt someone else's feeling by calling them by another name. Like, the level of retardation of this law, of this situation, is so epic, you have no idea. You have no idea how stupid that is. Anyway, I'm at work right now. I have to go. I have to do my day without going insane. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good day, everyone.